Princesa City.
Meron tayong local transmission dito sa NCR, specifically dun sa area where we have detected this BA 2.12.1, specifically in that specific area within Western Visayas, Puerto Princesa.
This means clusters of cases and individuals with this subvariant are not linked to international travelers.
But there is still no community transmission. Pag sinabi natin local transmission, confined siya dun sa area, hindi pang malawakan. Compared to community transmission, community transmission, huge clusters of infection to. Marami ng mga cluster ng infection, tapos hindi mo na makita yung link ng bawat isang kaso sa isa't isa.
The latest, 2 cases from Iloilo City and a returning Filipino from abroad currently living in Western Visayas. Among earlier reported 11 foreigners in Puerto Princesa City, but health officials say they're local cases, citing they more likely got infected here in the country.
This is a local case. So even though they were foreigners, they had been here at that time that they got sick, and when we tried to trace, mukhang local po ang source of infection.
Earlier studies say this subvariant is more infectious and could evade one's protection from vaccines, but it is not yet seen to cause a more severe illness.
So in terms of symptomatology and even severity of symptoms, wala pong pagkakaiba itong mga Omicron variant.
An infectious disease specialist says we can still quell its transmission with surveillance, health protocols, and increasing booster uptake.
Dapat natuto na talaga tayo, di ba, nakakaapat na tayong waves. And ganito nagsisimula yung mga nakikita natin yung nakaraan eh. Hindi na dapat antayin na dumami ng gusto yung kaso.
Kailangan ituloy natin itong aktibong pagmamatyag at pagmamonitor kung meron pang further na makikita dito sa mga subvariants na ito and may further transmission. So we have recommended the preference for us right now for laboratory test would be RT-PCR because it's only RT-PCR na pwede tayong gumawa ng genome sequencing.
Health officials not dismissing the possibility of more cases of the subvariant, as only a small portion of weekly COVID-19 cases are checked for variants because cases are low and many positives are below the needed viral load for testing. Caroline Bongkin, CNN Philippines.
The struggle continues for health officials with almost 2 million Moderna COVID-19 shots expiring this month. Health Undersecretary Mirna Cabutahe says these should be used as first booster doses. The expiring Moderna vaccines account for 2% of the total wastage. Foreign Affairs Chief Teodoro Locsin Jr. says the government should instead donate these doses to neighboring countries like Myanmar, which is dealing with rising cases. Locsin said the Kingdom of Bahrain will donate 590,000 COVID-19 doses to the Philippines. Among these, 430,000 Sinopharm shots and 80,000 Pfizer doses each for children and adults. Are meant to consider purchasing more vaccines for children. The canvassing of votes for the presidential and vice presidential races is set to begin next week, but presumptive President-elect Bongbong Marcos is facing another challenge, with some civic leaders now taking to the Supreme Court a petition to cancel his candidacy. That and more from Rex Remigio.
The fight shifts to the Supreme Court. Civic leaders Father Christian Buenafe and Fides Lim are asking the High Court to issue a temporary restraining order to stop Congress from canvassing votes for the presidential elections next week. They seek to cancel the certificate of candidacy of apparent winner Bongbong Marcos. They would also like to stop the Congress, sitting as National Board of Canvassers, from proclaiming Marcos as next president should he officially tally the highest number of votes. They first filed the petition before the Commission on Elections in November 2021, but this was junked right after the May 9 election. They argued Marcos committed a crime of moral turpitude and perjury for making false representations in his COC. For them, he is not eligible to seek the presidency because of his tax conviction. The petitioners reiterated Marcos was convicted by a Quezon City court For his multiple failures to file income tax returns from 1982 to 1985 when he was governor and vice governor of Ilocos Norte. While the Marcos camp has yet to receive a copy of the petition as of press time, his spokesperson appeals to the petitioners.
Instead of pushing for your agenda of animosity, tulungan niyo lang na muna kami na pagtuunan at gamitin natin ang ating limitadong oras araw-araw. We are all limited to 24 hours in a day. Allow us to be more productive and learn to respect the will of the Filipino people.
Marcos, meanwhile, is eyeing the Labor Secretary of ex-President Erap Estrada, Benny Laguesma, to join his cabinet under the same position. He is also inviting Overseas Filipino Workers Advocate Toots Ople to be his Migrant Workers Department Chief. Both Laguesma and Ople have yet to confirm whether or not they're accepting the offer. The Marcos camp is also finalizing the venue for his inauguration on June 30th. One possible venue is the Quirino Grandstand in Manila. They're also looking at other places. Rex Remitio, CNN Philippines.
The new president and vice president will assume office at noon of June 30th, but what happens if the president-elect fails to qualify? The Constitution states, quote, "The vice president-elect shall act as president until the president-elect shall have qualified," unquote. But in case no president shall have qualified, the line of succession comes in. The vice president shall become the president, and the Senate president becomes the vice president. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte is eyeing to hold her oath-taking as vice president on June 19 in the city so she can attend the inauguration of leading presidential bet Bongbong Marcos on June 30th. Presidential daughter said this in a radio interview Monday. She explained her fellow Davaoenos want to join and witness an oath-taking, adding it is only proper to do so because it will be the pride of Davao City and the Davao region. Sara Duterte's term of office begins at noon of June 30th, as stated in the Constitution. In previous elections, the president and vice president-elect were inaugurated successively on June 30th. Coming up, a look at what the 19th Congress would look like with 1/4 of the Senate, either brothers and sisters or mother and son. And another historic gold at the Southeast Asian Games, this time in billiards. Stay tuned to Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
RPN DXKP Pagadian, ang inyong Radyo Ronda. RPN Radio Philippines Network. Radio Philippines Network. Live to the world, pinaagi sa FB page, karon mag-download na. Pinaagi sa Google Play o Apple Store, YouTube o Twitter. Alang sa mas kipakuskan ng mga balita, komentaryo, kasayuran o kalingawan. Ang mas kipakuskan ng inyong Radyo Ronda. Member, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Welcome back. Apparent President-elect Bongbong Marcos is in Australia. His spokesperson Vic Rodriguez confirmed this, saying Marcos is on a private trip with his family for much-needed rest and vacation before he takes office. Rodriguez also says Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison already sent his congratulatory message to Marcos.
Nagpahatid ng congratulatory message ang pinuno ng bansang Australia dahil sa integridad na naganap naganap sa ating halalan nung nakaraang Lunes. And of course, he affirmed yung kanilang gobyernong patuloy na mainit at close interaction at pakikipag-ugnayan sa pamahalaan ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
Marcos's flight to Australia was kept under wraps, but a group of Filipinos in Melbourne gave him what they say was a warm reception of protests. Photographs from Anak Bayan, Melbourne show protesters holding placards outside a building where Marcos and his family are supposedly staying. They say tyrants are not welcome there and that they reject the Marcos-Duterte tandem. The Marcos campaign says the move is embarrassing.
Bilang Pilipino, nakakahiya. Hindi ugali ng Pilipino hiyain at pahiyain ang kapwa niya Pilipino sa isang bansa na hindi naman Pilipinas. I think the best authority or person to say whether he is welcome or not are the Australian government. Ang Pilipino ay kilala na nagtutulungan. Mababait tayo. Huwag niyo hong gawin yan sa ibang bansa, sa ibang bayan. Wala ho kayong ibang agenda kundi palaganapin ang inyong puot at pait sa inyong puso. Hindi po ganyan ang Pilipino.
Rodriguez says Marcos is expected to return on Thursday. It is all systems go for the proclamation of winning senators tomorrow. The Commission on Elections will tighten security protocols as it invited 5 of the country's highest-ranking officials to the event. Melissa Lopez joins us live from the Command Center in Pasay. Mel, what can we expect tomorrow?
Pia, expect political heavyweights for tomorrow's proclamation ceremony for 12 senators. Apart from the winning candidates, COMELEC also invited President Rodrigo Duterte, Vice President Leni Robredo, Senate President Tito Soto, House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco, and Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo to personally witness the proclamation of the top 12 senatorial bets based on the COMELEC's official tally of votes. Based on the latest official count, actor Robin Padilla cornered the number 1 spot with 26.61 million votes, followed by Loren Legarda at 24.26 million and Rafi Tulfo with 23.39 million votes. Also in the Cheese Escudero, Mark Villar, Alan Cayetano, Mig Zubiri, Joel Villanueva, JV Ejercito, Risa Ontiveros, and Jinggoy Estrada. The National Board of Canvassers has ruled that they can now proclaim winning senators by rank, as the remaining votes to be canvassed will no longer change the ranking from 1st to 12th. COMELEC staff are celebrating behind us for almost finishing the count. The tally excludes some 600,000 votes from Lanao del Sur, the only count not yet transmitted, as 14 barangays will hold special elections next week. But again, these numbers will not change the names in the Magic 12. Estrada, who is ranked 12th, has a nearly 2 million lead from the 13th placer, former Vice President Jejomar Binay. COMELEC's audit group also corrected discrepancies in the count for Senate and party list bets discovered in the manually prepared certificates of canvass. Commissioner George Garcia says the variances are small. It's usually 1 or 5 votes, but for some senatorial bets, the difference reached 1,000 votes.
Just the same, discrepancy pa rin yun. Ang usual na process natin dyan, nire-refer lahat yan sa law department for proper investigation. Kasi we have to determine din kung talaga namang naantok lang o baka intentional.
The decorations are ready here at the PICC Forum tent for tomorrow's ceremony. The red carpet will be unrolled at 4 in the afternoon. Senators-to-be were told to wear barong and Filipiniana for the day. Additional police and military forces will be deployed to secure the venue. And in case President Duterte decides to attend, the Presidential Security Group will take over the security plan. Pia?
Mel, Vice Presidential frontrunner Sara Duterte costing quite a stir when she announced her planned oath-taking on June 19th. What does the COMELEC say about this, and is that allowed?
Right. Commissioner Garcia says there's nothing illegal for any presumptive winner or candidate to take his oath or of office well ahead. But what's not allowed is for a candidate to start his term early. The Constitution is clear that all terms of office of elected officials only start at noontime of June 30. Back to you, Pia.
Melissa Lopez there reporting from Comlex Command Center in Pasay. Now, what will the incoming Senate look like and who could be Senate President? Amor Santos filed this report.
4 re-electionists, 5 returning lawmakers, and 3 first-time senators. They will form half of the Senate in the upcoming 19th Congress, joining the 12 incumbents who were elected in 2019. 6 senators, or 1/4 of the Senate, are family members.
The results show that indeed the Senate race has always been a popularity contest. No? It's either you are a celebrity or a public figure, or you have a famous family name, or you come from a political family.
Senator Risa Ontiveros is the only opposition candidate in the Magic 12. Senator Joel Villanueva says he's open to joining her in the minority, and so is Senator Coco Pimentel, who has clarified that the job of the minority is to keep the majority in check.
The minority actually is not technically because you are opposition to the president, because the president of the Philippines is outside of the consideration on who the Senate President is.
With a new supermajority on the horizon, the Senate presidency is turning out to be a 3-way battle. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian has publicly declared he's vying for the post.
I'm courting our colleagues and asking for their support.
Senate Majority Leader Mig Subiri and Senator Cynthia Villar said it's too early to talk about the change in leadership, with Senate President Tito Soto ending his term as senator on June 30. But Senator Sonny Angara has confirmed to CNN Philippines that both Villar and Zubiri have reached out to him. He's hoping they can forge an agreement. For Soto, his successor should master Senate rules and procedures, maintain the unity and independence of the chamber, and exhibit good work ethics. A senator needs the vote of at least 13 senators to be the 25th Senate President, who is also second to the Vice President in the constitutional line of succession. Amor Santos, CNN Philippines.
The Presidential Museum and Library clarifies that its website is inaccessible because of ongoing updates to its contents and security features. That's after the supposed takedown of Malacanang.gov.ph sparked fears of a possible historical revisionism. The museum administration says the contents of the website were not compromised and will be made available to the public at the soonest possible time. The Presidential Museum and Library website stores historical records on Malacanang, including the martial law regime of the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos. Historian Manuel Quezon III, who served under the late former President Noynoy Aquino, first flagged the inaccessibility of the website on Monday. The United States vows to strengthen its alliance with the Philippines under the new administration. U.S. President Joe Biden stressed the importance of its relations with Southeast Asian nations in foreign policy and COVID-19 response in the recently concluded U.S.-ASEAN Summit in Washington, D.C. President Duterte did not attend the event to give way to his successor.
They have again repeated that their commitment to the Philippine maritime security, their support of our arbitral award. That alone is what the U.S. sees as the important relation alliance that they have with the Philippines, the importance that they give us. And of course, economic recovery is another thing that they have promised to help the Philippines. And one other major aspect that I think was discussed thoroughly here is climate change.
Biden said he was looking forward to working with presumptive President Marcos, whose family is facing a standing court order in the U.S. Now, in other world headlines, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is firm he will not allow Finland and Sweden to join NATO. Erdogan has accused both countries of housing Kurdish terrorist organizations. He said Finland and Sweden should not bother convincing him to approve their NATO membership. Admitting new states into the U.S.-led military alliance requires the unanimous decision of all 30 members. Sweden has signed an application declaring its intention to join NATO on Tuesday. While countries hope to increase security because of Russian aggression, Ukrainian forces have ended their combat mission in Mariupol. This likely marks the end of the deadly 82-day battle in the besieged city, which has become a symbol of Ukrainian resistance. Over 200 people were evacuated from the Azovstal steelworks plant in Mariupol. 53 were injured and rushed to the hospital. Some Ukrainian fighters remain at the plant. Back here at home, Petron Corporation is confident it can top its pre-pandemic performance as it swings back to profit in 2021. Petron posted a full-year profit of 6.14 billion pesos last year, reversing the net loss of 11.4 billion in 2020. The oil company was able to sustain the momentum in the first 3 months of this year. The figures come on the back of strong oil prices and improved demand amid eased COVID restrictions. Straight ahead on Newsnight, the legendary K-pop group is making a comeback, and more gold medals for Team Philippines at this year's Southeast Asian Games in Hanoi. Keep it here on CNN Philippines.
DXKP Pagadian. Ang inyong Radyo Ronda. RPN. RPN. Radio Philippines Network. Radio Philippines Network. Live to the world. Pinaagi sa FB page. Karon, mag-download na. Pinaagi sa Google Play o Apple Store, YouTube o Twitter. Alang sa mas kipakuskan ng mga balita, komentaryo, kasayuran o kalingawan. Ang mas kipakuskan ng inyong Radyo Ronda.
Member, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
This is Newsnight on CNN Philippines. Sci-fi Netflix show Black Mirror is getting a 6th season. Variety reports casting is underway. Fans can expect more episodes this time around, with the previous installment only consisting of 3 parts. Season 5 of the dystopian series dropped back in June 2019. Some long-awaited news for fans of Girls' Generation. The legendary K-pop group will release a new album this August. All 8 members are participating in the new record, celebrating their 15th anniversary. SNSD last album, Holiday Night, came out 5 years ago. In Vietnam, it's an all-Filipino final in the Southeast Asian Games Billiards Men 9-ball pool singles event. Carlo Biado and John Chua won in their semi-final competitions today, securing them both at least a silver medal. This means the country is set to bag both the silver and the gold in the category. But the country officially captured its first gold in billiards today, courtesy of defending champ Rubilen Amit. This marks her 5th gold medal finish in women's 9-ball singles. And Pinoy billiards icon Efren Bata Reyes is taking home at least a bronze after making it to the Carom singles semis. Reyes beat a Thai opponent in the quarterfinals, securing his ticket to tomorrow's semifinal. And another gold with Islay, Erica Bomogao and Richane Yosorez. Topping the women's Waikru event, it is the country's first medal this year in Muay Thai. After 5 gold and 2 silver medal finishes, gymnast Carlos Yulo is set to earn at least 1.6 million pesos from government cash incentives. The law grants 300,000 pesos for gold and 60,000 per silver medal. So far, Team Philippines ranks 3rd after Vietnam and Thailand. Philippine Sports Commissioner Ramon Fernandez says the country is within target to finish at least 3rd overall. The Philippines has earned 113 medals, 33 of which are gold. And that is it for now. Join me again on news.ph at 7 p.m. and on politics as usual at 8:30. I'm Pio Alvarez for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
This program is brought to you by
Labing-4 na araw na lang bago mag-eleksyon, busisiin din natin ang mga pagpipilian naman sa party list elections. Ngayong hapon, kausapin natin ang mga grupong kumakatawan sa mga senior citizen. Makakasama natin dito sa studio si ang tinig ng Senior Party List Representative Godofredo Arquiza. At via Zoom naman, si Senior Citizens Party List Representative Rodolfo Ordañez. Magandang hapon po sa inyo, Congressman Arquiza and Ordañez. Kayo po ay incumbent ngayon?
Hindi po,
Hindi
chairman.
po. Chairman ng...
Ang tinig ng senior citizen.
Pero the party list has a seat now, no?
Not yet. First time, but I represent the senior citizen in the 14th and 15th Congresses.
Okay. So ngayon po ay tumatakbo po kayo ulit?
Yes.
Okay, pag-usapan po natin itong inyong party list group, no? Ano po ba ang sinusulong nyo ngayon? Bakit po kayo tumatakbo ulit?
Ito pong ang tinig ng senior citizen, number 169. Ito po ay sumbungan po at tagapagtanggol ng mga yung mga commercial establishment at saka mga LGUs na hindi tumutupad sa batas. Dahil kasi itong batas ng 9994, isa ako sa gumawa nitong batas na ito, kanya gusto ko naman na maipatupad sa mga senior citizen dahil napakaganda nitong batas na ito.
Puntahan naman natin si Representative Ordañez. He joins us via Zoom. Good afternoon, sir. Opo. Go ahead. Ano po ang... same question po for you.
Hello?
I'm not sure if you heard me. Sir, ano po ang sinusulong ng inyong party list group sa eleksyon na ito? Bakit po kayo tatakbo ulit?
Ang sinusulong po natin para sa lahat ng kapakanan at mga karapatan ng ating mga senior citizens. Una-una po, ang ating isusulong. Ngayon po, nakapagsampa tayo ng 5 House bills na tapos po sa Kongreso, nasa Senado na ngayon. Yung ating social pension po na from 500 to 1,000 monthly. Pangalawa po, yung elderly voting na ating mga senior citizens, wherein 1 week before election, pwedeng bumoto ang mga senior citizens. Pangatlo po, na naisampa sa Senado, yung ating Geriatric Act na kung saan magpapatayo po tayo ng mga hospital para sa mga senior citizens, para lahat po ng region, lahat ng provinces, magpapatayo tayo ng geriatric hospital para sa senior citizens. At pinaka-importante po yung pong ating Centenarian Act na nasa Senado na rin, na magbibigay ng 25,000 pesos sa bawat senior citizens upon reaching the age of 80, 85, 90, and 95 years old. And meron po tayong bonus pagdating po ng senior citizens, umabot po ng 101 years old, meron pong bonus na 1 million. Yun po yung ating nagawa sa Kongreso.
Sa data niyo
Na
po
ngayon
ba
ay
ngayon?
nasa
Oo.
Senado na.
Interesado lang ako dito sa data niyo po ba ngayon, ilan na ang umabot sa 100 years old dito sa ano natin, sa mga seniors po natin?
Wala po tayong data kasi nasa DSWD po yan.
Okay. Sige. Balikan ko lang dito si Mr. Arquiza nandito sa studio. No? Sinasabi niyo po kasi isa sa mga babantayan yung mga commercial establishments na hindi po sumusunod doon sa mga pinapatupad halimbawa na discount.
Pati LGUs.
Pati LGUs. Ano po ba yung mga problemang nakikita niyo ngayon?
Napakarami po ng mga LGUs na hindi nabibigyan ng tama yung social pensions na dapat yung mga indigent ay merong monthly social pension. At napakarami pang batas, kamukha itong sangguniang nakakatanda, ay meron tayong sangguniang kabataan, pero wala tayong sangguniang nakakatanda na siyang makakatulong sa ating mga barangay dahil kasi itong mga matatanda na, hindi na ito corrupt, ang hinahanap na lang nila ay legacy. At meron tayong violence against women, violence against children, pero wala tayong violence against senior citizen. Itong violence against senior citizen ay kailangan dahil kasi pag ang victim ay senior citizen, kailangan mataas ang hatol. Dahil kasi hindi ka na makatakbo pag hinold up ka. At saka meron akong isang batas na napakaganda, yung elder abuse. Itong elder abuse ay merong 4 na category. Unang-una, psychological and emotional abuse. Yung mga anak, apo, pag matanda na yung magulang, hindi na pinapansin. Inuutusan. Yung pangalawa ay yung right abuse. Maraming matanda na biyuda, gusto pang mag-asawa, ayaw ng mga anak. Pinipigilan ng mga anak. Siguro nasa isip nila, baka makahati pa nila sa mana. Pero kailangan magkaroon ng right ang mga senior.
Saan po magfo-fall under yung sinasabi niyo po
Elder
yan?
abuse.
Abuse po, considered as abuse po yan, kung sakali, doon sa panukalang batas niyo.
4 po yung elder abuse. Psychological and emotional abuse, right abuse, yung mga magulang pinapakailaman ng mga anak. Financial abuse, yung pera ng magulang ay nag-ipon, nagtipid, tapos may mga anak na mas malaki na kukuha. At saka yung neglect and abandonment. Itong neglect and abandonment, ito lagi nangyayari ito dahil pinag-aaral mo yung mga anak mo sa college, tapos nung makatapos, nanay, tatay, pupunta ako ng Maynila, magtatrabaho ako. Ilang buwan lang nagbigay, tapos wala na. Dapat magkaroon ng rights ang mga seniors, ang mga nanay, tatay, para yung kanilang pinaghirapan na pinag-aral magkaroon ng batas para doon.
Mr. Arquiza, ngayon pong pandemic, medyo parang na-highlight din ho talaga yung plight ng senior citizens.
Opo.
Halimbawa, di ba, yung mga ayuda, yung mga ganyan po. And then even yung movement po, di ba, parang laging pinagbabawalan yung seniors na,
Yes,
na lumabas. Pero dati na po bang problema yung mga ganyan? Halimbawa, even for yung restriction sa movement, even for yung mga jobs, parang hindi po ata masyado. Pero may batas na po dyan, di ba po, na pwede naman po kayo magtrabaho kung kaya pa, ganun po. Yung, in terms of that, paano nyo po isusulong yung related
nitong pandemic, ni-restrict ng gobyerno yung mga 65 up, hindi pinapalabas ng bahay. Pero yung mga below 65 ay nakakalabas pa din ng bahay. Pero yun, walang batas doon, kundi utos lang ng ating pamahalaan. Kanya nga,
yung iba kasi nagtatrabaho pa po, tapos hindi rin makalabas.
Opo.
Pero later on, pinayagan naman nila.
Oo, pinayagan. Kamukha nga ako, as lawyer, ay yung aming MCLE, ay deadline na sa 22. Kanya nakaraan na. Meron kami restriction. Paano kami makaka-attend sa mga MCLE na seminars? Kanya nga may sulat ako sa ating IBP na sana extend sa mga seniors na 70 above.
Maganda po yung mga binanggit yung concerns. Puntahan naman natin ulit si Representative Ordonez. Sa inyo po, binanggit nyo po yung mga panukalang batas na sinusulong nyo, no? Magaganda po ito. Pero sa ngayon ho, anong nakikita nyong talagang parang biggest challenge po sa mga senior citizens na dapat talagang i-prioritize?
Ayun po, natutuwa naman ako at yun ang plano ni Atty. Artisa. Pero sad to say po, na-file ko na yan sa Kongreso, elderly abuse, yung pong minamaltrato ng mismong pamilya. Na-file ko na rin sa Kongreso, meron tayong House Bill, yung pong sangguniang senior citizens or sangguniang nakakatanda. Meron na po akong House Bill dyan sa binabanggit niya na yan. Doon po sa mga senior citizens na gusto pang magtrabaho, meron na rin po tayong House Bill dyan, yung elderly employment. Yung pong binabanggit ni Atty. Artisa, nagawa ko na po yan sa Kongreso. At regarding naman po doon sa sinasabi niyang social pension, ang social pension po, sa national po yan. At nakakalungkot, yung Republic Act 1994 para sa senior citizens na ano po kasi, very discriminatory yung word na indigent. So doon po sa ating bill, sa ating House Bill na naisampa sa Senado, wala na po yung indigent. All senior citizens na yung pong no permanent source of income ay qualified na pong makatanggap ng social pension.
Pareho po kayo, binanggit nyo, halimbawa yung sinasabi ni Mr. Arquiza, no, na may mga bills din siya na isusulong, and kayo rin sabi nyo na-file na po yan.
Naisulong ko na po yan.
Opo, the past Congresses, may mga ganyan na po. Pero sa tingin nyo, ano po ba yung nagiging hadlang? Ba't ho kaya hindi nakakapasayan at nagiging batas? Or doon sa existing law naman natin, halimbawa yung 20% discount and yung iba pang existing law o yung pension, ba't naman po sa tingin nyo ay hindi yan napapatupad ng maayos?
Actually, Ruth, to tell you frankly, ako ay 1 year and 6 months pa lang naging congressman. Dahil yung ating dating congressman, si Congressman Jun Datol, kung inyong natatandaan, ay nabiktima ng COVID at sinamantala yung namatay. So, hindi ko masasagot yung tanong mo kung bakit ganyan, kung anong naging problema. Pero sa maiksing panahon na pagiging congressman ko, yun nga, nakalima ko ng House Bills na naisampa sa Kongreso. At sinisigurado ko naman po sa ating mga senior citizens, lahat po ng inyong karapatan, lahat ay kabubuti para sa ating mga senior citizens. Yan po ang aking plano.
Si Atty. Arquiza,
marami po tayo susulong.
Si Atty. Arquiza gusto atang mag-respond. Opo.
Yung mga binanggit niyang House Bill niya ngayon, ay House Bill ko yan nung ako'y nakaupo. Lahat yan. Dahil kasi, pinag-aralan ko yan dahil nung pag-upo ko, 4 na taon lang ako, 2 batas ang naipasa ko. Unang-una, yung 20% discount na lahat ng mayaman at mahirap, ginagamit yon. Kanya gusto ko, ipagtanggol yung mga hindi sumusunod doon sa batas na yon ay pagtanggol namin at dahil yung batas maganda merong lugar, isang bayan diyan sa Bulacan, tatatlo lang ang kumukuha ng social pension. Ngayon gusto ko itaas yan ng 2,000. Bakit? Yung batas nakalagay diyan, every 2 years the social pensions shall be revisited. 2 years, every 2 years. Ngayon, 12 years na. Walang nagsusulong. Yung haling term ko kasi ay 2013. Natigil na ako noong 2013. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. walang batas na nangyari. Puro House Bill lang, House Bill.
Yung tinatanong ko po na ano kaya yung halimbawa in terms of implementation, the
Opo.
simple issue na sinasabi nyo na yung 20% discount, ba't po kaya hindi siya napapatupad ng maayos or baka hindi na isusumbong or hindi po na ire-report? May mekanismo po for that?
Kulang nga po ng sumbungan. Kaya nga po, itong aking antinig na senior, ito po ay sumbungan na tagapagtanggol ng mga hindi tumutupad doon sa batas. Dahil ang daming hindi tumutupad sa batas na ayaw magbigay ng discount. Magtataka kayo, bibili kayo ng cake, walang discount. Pagbili nyo ng pandesal, may discount.
Hindi
yung
ano,
cake,
no, hindi
500
pare-pareho
piso.
yung ano nila.
Kanya nga, iyan, kailangan yan mapag-aralan para tumupad sila lahat. Kawawa naman yung mga yung mga tao.
Huli na lang po, kasi mensahe na lang po sa ating voters, no? 165 party list vying for 63 House seats. Ano po yung, bakit po kayo dapat iboto? Unahin po muna natin kayo, Mr. Arquiza, and then si Congressman Ordonez.
Kanya po, dapat nyo ko iboto. Unang-una, meron akong political will. As a lawyer, as CPA, kaya kong ipagtanggol yung mga yung aking advocacy na masunod lahat ng nakalagay sa batas. At saka meron pa akong yung 2 batas ko na taasan nga yung social pension ng 2,000 at saka magkaroon ng sangguniang nakakatanda. At saka itong yung mga abuse. Kawawa naman ang mga magulang. Pag matanda na, hindi na makakilos, inaabuso ng mga anak. Yun, napakahalaga yun. Tsaka isa pa, meron akong isang international inisip. Nag-meeting ako sa Amerika ng mga senior citizen, yung mga PLAM. Lahat sila gustong bumalik dito. Yung mga retirees, may nagsisweldo may nagpe-pension ng $3,000, $5,000, $5,000. Gusto nila mag-uwian dito. Kanya lang, ang problema, yung portability ng PhilHealth sa Amerika, hindi magamit dito. Kanya nga pag nakaupo kami sa Congress, ay kailangan doon legislation. Pwedeng kumausap ako ng congressman sa Amerika at saka senator.
Para mapagtugma po.
Para mapagtugma. Para naman yung mga senior citizen na PhilAM na mga retirees ay makauwi. Dahil kasi gustong-gusto nila dito.
Sige, pupuntahan naman natin si Congressman Ordonez.
Apo.
Mensahe niyo po sa mga voters.
Binanggit ni Atty. Narcisa. 14 and 15 Congress, siya yung naging congressman. Ba't hindi niya natapos yung sinasabi niyang mga bills na to? At kaya ako gusto kong bumalik sa Kongreso, maipagpatuloy ko yung naiwanan kong House Bill. Like revaccination, immunization, ito yung anti-COVID, anti-pneumonia, anti-flu. Gusto kong ituloy yung pre-dialysis for all senior citizens kasi para malibre lahat ang dialysis ng mga senior citizens na nagpapadialysis. Ang maipapayo ko kay Atty. Arquiza, ito tayo, nandiyan na siya. Ayusin niyo muna po yung denial ng COMELEC sa inyong petition for registration bago tayo mangampanya. Yun lang po.
Sir, okay, this is a venue sana na for you to to iharap po sa publiko ang inyong platforms, but this is yung mga ganyang sagot ay siguro po ay sa ibang venue na lang mapag-usapan. Anyway, thank you for giving us your views and introducing your groups to us. Godofredo Arquiza ng Ang Tinig ng Seniors at Rodolfo Ordonez, Senior Citizens Party List.
As the campaign period enters the final stretch, we speak to party list groups seeking seats in the next Congress. Up next is a party list which vows to help tricycle drivers and operators in the country. Joining us now is Robin Feliciano. He's the first nominee of TODA Party List. Good morning, Robin. Thanks for joining us. And how is the campaign so far?
Good morning sa lahat ng mga listeners and viewers natin. Siyempre sa up close, no? Ito po isang opportunity for TODA Party List na makasama ngayon this morning. Okay naman po, kaya medyo paubos na yung boses dahil palapit na rin po ang tapos ang campaign period. So medyo naubos na rin yung boses natin.
So you have held consultations with different tricycle groups across the country. So from these consultations, ano po ang pinaka-mahalaga sa kanila na mabigyang pansin?
Ms. Maya, alam niyo naman, hindi lingid sa ating lahat na yung patuloy na pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina, ito yung talagang nagpapahirap sa mga tricycle drivers dahil hindi naman po basta-basta tumataas yung presyo ng pamasahe. So talagang ang panawagan ng mga tricycle drivers natin sa buong Pilipinas ay mapabilis po ang pagre-release ng fuel subsidy. Kamakailan lamang po may isang department memorandum ang DILG dated April 19, 2022 na pinapalawig or ine-extend yung deadline na submission ng mga local government natin ng mga listahan ng mga eligible tricycle drivers for the fuel subsidy or dun sa Pantawid Pasada program. So hanggang binibigyan sila hanggang Friday, April 29. So yung panawagan natin sa mga local government unit, siguraduhin po nila na nasumitin natin sa Department of Interior and Local Government ang listahan ng mga tricycle drivers dahil alam po natin mahigit 2 buwan na po ang tuloy-tuloy na pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina kung kaya't hirap na po ang ating mga tricycle drivers at ang opportunity sa atin ay magkaroon na lamang po ng fuel subsidy para ma-address po natin yung urgent na problema sa pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina.
Ngayon po, nasabi nyo lang, may big time oil price hike na naman today. So lahat naman talagang apektado sa pagtaas ng gasolina. So ano pa po ang mga concerns ng ating mga tricycle drivers and operators at paano nyo po i-address ito?
Alam niyo po, siyempre nandyan yung problema sa kakulangan sa mga batas na nagpoproteksyon sa kanila. Kaya gusto ng TODA Party List na isulong natin ang Magna Carta for Tricycle Drivers and Operators. Ito po yung mga karapatan at pribileyo para sa sektor nila. Kabilang na po dyan yung full scholarship ng anak ng tricycle driver. Pag sinabi natin full scholarship, hindi lang po ito libreng tuition fee. Bagkus may allowance dahil alam niyo po ang isang tricycle driver, kumikita lamang po ng 200 hanggang 300 piso kada araw. Sa pamilya po hindi sasapat para pakainin ito, lalo tigit kung pag-aralin pa to. Hindi sila makakalabas sa cycle of poverty kung wala isa sa pamilya nila ang makakatapos sa pag-aaral at magkakaroon ng chance na magkaroon ng ibang karir, no? At magkaroon ng tulong sa kanila. Pangalawa po, ang pagkakaroon ng legal aid, no? Libreng abogado para sa mga tricycle drivers natin dahil malapit po sila sa aksidente, minsan ay naabuso rin ng ilang mga abusadong enforcer kung kaya't kinakailangan ng abogado na makikipaglaban para sa kanilang karapatan at karapatang legal. Third po is yung pagkakaroon ng social benefits, no? Yung libreng SSS, PhilHealth at Pag-ibig na sana po ay magawa natin kung bakit hindi makapag-retire ang ating mga tricycle drivers. Meron dyan 7 years old na, 8 years old na, namamasada pa rin dahil wala ho silang social benefits. Pambili man lang ng maintenance medicine, hindi ho nila kinakaya. And then pang-apat po sa Magna Carta for Tricycle Drivers ay ang sinasabi ho natin na murang pabahay. Nagtatanong po ako sa mga tricycle drivers natin sa mga terminal, sa mga pilahan ng tricycle, majority or more than 80% of them nangungupahan or nagre-rent pa ng kanilang bahay. So napakalaking pahirap para sa kanila na buwan-buwan nangungupahan at walang sariling tahanan. At gusto rin po ng TODA Party List na reviewin natin ang oil deregulation law para siguraduhin na yung presyo ng gasolina ay hindi ganun kataas at syempre isusulong natin ang pagbabalik ng Oil Price Stabilization Fund para siguraduhin stable ang presyo ng gasolina para stable rin po ang presyo ng mga pangunahing bilihin.
Napakaganda at napakahalaga yung mga benepisyong sinabi mo para sa mga operators and tricycle drivers. Ano po ngayon yung plano nyo? Kasi final stretch na ng campaign period.
Ang plano namin, mas marami pang tricycle driver ang maabot ng TODA Party List. Mas malaman nila na mayroon na silang boses na makikipaglaban sa kanilang karapatan. Alam niyo po, 31 years old na ho ang local government code pero wala pa rin nung isa na kinatawan ang mga tricycle drivers natin sa sa Kongreso. O yan sabi ko nga, wala ni isang batas ang nagawa ang Kongreso patungkol sa benepisyo ng mga tricycle drivers. Yun po ang usap-usapan namin sa mga pagpupulong sa mga tricycle drivers. Kinakailangan na magkaroon ng batas para sa social benefits at karapatan ng ating mga tricycle drivers. Kung kaya't sa nalalabing ilang araw ng kampanya, sisikapin ng TODA party list na maibalita at maabot namin ang tricycle drivers sa buong kapuluan.
Okay, maraming salamat po, TODA party list nominee Rovin Feliciano.